Today on Warrior Update, baseball celebrates a half century, the auditorium officially opens, and we preview this year's Lipta. It's Friday, March 27th. I'm Mia Rohr, and this is Warrior Update. The auditorium got a facelift, Ace Hill reports.
In December, Waubonsee Valley pulled the curtain back on its newly renovated auditorium. The months-long construction project improved the overall look and feel of the room. In addition, it provided upgrades to production technology while also updating its safety standards. The auditorium was dedicated to David Calvert, who taught English at Waubonsee Valley from 1990 to 2023. During that time, Calvert directed or produced nearly every play and musical, working with student performers, technicians, and artists.
Our program has always been about students. When I walked in here back in 1990, the very first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure students had hand-on opportunities. So throughout my career, I've always tried to incorporate a lot of different people, and it's always been student-centered. I wanted to dedicate this to all the students who have gone through it, and they have found friends, and they found direction in their lives. And I also wanted to dedicate it to the new group of students, because those students are going to go in and find the family that I worked so hard to try and develop and foster during my time here.
Calvert was flooded with memories when he returned to see the new auditorium for the first time.
Just walking back in, it just reminded me of how much I miss this place, how many great times I had here. I've worked with so many great colleagues, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't have their support.
For Warrior Update, I'm Ace Hill.
This Waubonsee government class is discussing current events. Warrior Update has more.
With the conflict in Iran, some classes of Waubonsee Valley are taking the opportunity to learn about current events. One such class is Advanced Placement Government and Politics. Students have learned about the political climate between Iran and the United States and how it affects both governmental bodies.
Something that helped me learn about what's going on in Iran is more so how the government actually works, what the government wants to portray themselves as. Some of the stuff that has come around Iran denying some of Trump's political talks with Iran kind of shows some of the stuff that we've learned in class, them wanting to portray themselves as strong and not vulnerable to the West.
It's very easy to kind of fall into a lot of traps, and we have a lot of different social media apps that can kind of give us a plethora of information that we can't really verify. So kind of understanding how the structure of Iran really works is very helpful to understand the political and geological tensions of the area. And then more than just that, in Gov, oftentimes kind of go deeper into the historical context of the actual government itself and how it's kind of progressed through time. So I think it's very helpful to understand what actions are taken, why they're taken, and how they can actually work in the government as a whole.
I think something that we talked about in class was just kind of the background knowledge of the conflict and how Iranian citizens react to things like this, and how the reactions kind of foreshadow what's going to happen in the future.
The students say they have been comfortable discussing events like this in a classroom setting.
I feel we should all just express ourselves and what we think about political issues as it can help us practice democracy and just kind of get more involved.
Being informed, I think, is a part of our civic duty. Living in a nation with so many freedoms and where our voice and our actions can have such a genuine impact, it means that we do have to be informed and we do have to speak up about what we believe. Oftentimes, you're going to hear conflicting views, which you should. Nothing you say is going to be 100% correct, and nothing somebody else says is going to be 100% correct. But the way you can get to that medium is through discussion, talking, and trying to understand somebody else's perspective.
The discussions help make the course relevant and engaging.
These discussions just make me enjoy AP government. I just love discussing stuff that's on my mind, and obviously political issues.
Well, I think it's something you don't get in a lot of other classes. You don't talk about present day issues or just things that feel like they actually matter. So I think it's important to have discussions about what's happening currently and things that could actually affect us in our future.
For Warrior Update, I'm Mitchell Anderson.
Baseball is celebrating a half century. Warrior Update has more.
Waubonsee Valley Baseball released its half-century team, a list of 50 memorable players and coaches, dating back to 1975. Included in that list is alum Ben Vitry. In 2014, the Warriors finished with a 26-9 record and took the IHSA Regional with wins over Plainfield East and Plainfield Central. Vitry hit .438 and led the team with 17 doubles. He was twice named All-Conference and All-Area from the Naperville Sun and Beacon News.
The huge thing was the faculty and staff and the coaches that I had kind of made it feel like family. And that's what got me involved in things like Link Club as well as sports, is that you have that support from the staff and faculty and coaches, but then also that kind of helps you create friends and create bonds. I had Coach Fazzulio, Coach Short, who's no longer with us, as well as Coach CJ Schmidt, and they were just so bought in. And they really cared about your development on the baseball field, but off the baseball field. Fez was great, and he's someone who I look at as a leader that I looked up to in high school. How he leads this team is someone where when I get into my career, I want to lead. And he's a great baseball mind. He coached some great teams here, some great players, so it was very honored to be a part of Fez's team for 2 years.
Vitry praised the faculty and staff, saying it is the foundation of Waubonsie.
You can tell that these people are invested in you while you're here, and then keep in touch beyond that. So I would say kind of that family type atmosphere when I look back, and was very fortunate to be able to go to Waubonsie. It wasn't just 4 years at a high school, it was truly the experience. It's a great honor, whether it's looking back on what I did when I was here, or like I said, when you're in the early morning gyms, or you're going to practice, you're about to walk out for a game, and you look up and you see the regional titles we've won and how we've gone to state in the past. That stuff motivates you, and now looking back and seeing that you're part of that history is really special for 50 years of Waubonsie.
To see the full half-century team, visit Instagram at WVHS Baseball. For Warrior Update, I'm Adam Torian.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Waubonsie is recording a lip dub next month. Warrior Update has more.
Waubonsie Valley is once again producing a school-wide lip dub in late April. The Warriors produced one in 2014 and again in 2017, collecting a combined 240,000 viewers. Van Kampen says the lip dub will act as a time capsule for the next 50 years.
The lip dub is an awesome experience for our students. This has taken the place of the pep assembly for the spring, but it's a chance for us to put our kids, our clubs, our sports, our teams all front and center in a living time capsule. I think one of the best things about that is so many people get to participate. Every student in the school that wants to be featured can be featured.
The final product will be about 15 to 20 minutes. And there is an incredible amount of work that goes on behind the scenes.
A lip dub is not just the day of filming. It takes months of planning, from searching through and creating new songs, placing clubs and sports along the route, coordinating with the different staff, with club teachers, advisors, coaches, and then really finding the right students to recruit and get in front of the camera. So this is a process for us that started back in November.
A lot of high schools and colleges have produced lip dubs in the past, with exciting results including Naperville North, Barrington, the University of Kentucky, and Northern Illinois University. Administrators and organizers are encouraging students to have fun with this and get involved.
What makes your club special, and how do you represent that on camera? And how do you do that in a short amount of time? So really think of how can you go big? How do you match your outfits? What props do you need? Come up with something that's going to be memorable as the camera walks past you in the halls.
The lip dub will be recorded on Friday, April 24th. For Warrior Update, I'm Anaí Pisano.
If you'd like to be part of Warrior Update or work with the new video scoreboard, ask your guidance counselor about registering you for Media Production 1. That's all for Warrior Update. I'm Mia Rohr. Thanks for watching. Today on Warrior Update, we preview baseball's we don't preview, baseball celebrates. This Waubonsie class, what? Today on Warrior Update, the auditorium, something's wrong with my voice. Happy spring break! Everyone have fun on spring break.